Hey guys, does capitalism have you down?
Does the constant pressure to be productive get to you?
Are you tired of being a cog in the machine?
Then we invite you to be a part of the revolution against toxic productivity by embracing the useless things.
Welcome to episode 47 of the Very Unimportant People podcast.
Do less. I'm your host, Lidia, and this week, I have to tell you guys a story. Wait, what were you saying, sorry? What did you say? Go ahead.
Oh, I think there's a lag.
Are we lagging right now?
There's a lag. Okay. That explains everything. Okay.
Okay, gotcha. Sorry about that, guys. I think we're back.
Hello?
Hey.
Hi?
Is there still a lag?
I don't know.
I don't think there is. I think that was good.
Okay,
I think that was good.
Okay.
So this week, I have a story, but I'll tell it after Courtney introduces herself. This is
Hi. I'm Courtney.
That's Courtney.
You couldn't tell. I also have a story for you. I had a bad restaurant experience this week, but Lidia, you go first. Let's hear your story first.
Okay. So my story, it has a little bit of everything, you know, drunk girl, infidelity, and some crazy. So basically, I went out with my friend this weekend, and we went to like a party of these people who we met. And we show up to this party, and it's like these really cool people, and it was like this one girl and this like 4 or 5 guys, and there was like some other people on the balcony and stuff like that. It was this little apartment in Toronto. And she was like, oh, today's actually my birthday. And I was like, holy shit, happy birthday. Like, you know, tell me more about yourself. And she was like, yeah, my fiance passed out in the bedroom right now because he got like so drunk tonight because it was also his birthday. And I was like, oh, so cute. Both birthdays. And she was like, yeah. He's like,
is this okay? Sorry, continue.
And she was like, yeah, and like we were both a little drunk, we were both a little lit, having a good time. And then they all groupthink had this idea, this like super funny prank where we would go into the room of the passed out fiance, and I would lie down in the bed next to him, and then she would come in and like wake him up and be like, who is this girl, like what are you doing, blah blah blah, as if he was like drunk and was like, I don't know who this is, blah blah blah. That was how the prank was supposed to go. And let me tell you, from the get-go, I was very unsure about this prank. I did not know these people. I had never met these people in my life, and I was like, are you sure this is a good idea? And by this point there was about 8 people egging me on, and 2 people already had their cameras out.
It's like a toxic relationship. I don't know.
It was a little strange. And then eventually I was like, oh, fuck it. Okay, fine. I guess like I'll go for it. So I lie down in the bed next to him, and I'm like sitting there or whatever. And then they turn on the light. The people are recording. And then she comes in and she's like, hey, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And this guy just starts swearing at her, and he's like, leave me alone, give me 5 minutes please. And he's like going off, like he's like saying the F word, the C word, the B word, all the words. And I get really uncomfortable, and I get literally scared, and I'm like, okay, this isn't like funny anymore. And like I get up and I'm like terrified, like looking into some of the cameras. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, yeah. And then I dip. I literally just leave, and like I don't know what happens. He's like still swearing at her and yelling at her, and she was like, no, like it was a prank, and he was just like, just give me 5 fucking minutes please. And like it was scary and it was intense. And then I was gone by this point, and then later she was like, oh my god, that was so funny. And I was like, I didn't really like that. I was like, I'm so sorry. Like, I don't understand like your humor maybe, but I was like, I was like, I feel like I should apologize because I didn't know that prank was going to go so badly. And she was like, it didn't go badly. That was funny. And I was like, oh, haha, good. I'm glad she thought it was funny, but I was extremely uncomfortable. And I don't know. If you're out there, I don't know. What do you guys think? Like, is this a fiance thing to do? Like, is she just like not aware that she's being like maybe in a toxic relationship? And like, I don't know if I would ever tolerate my man swearing at me like that, even if he was like passed out drunk. I don't know.
Honestly, like on both ends, it sounds a little toxic to me because like, even playing that prank, I think on your partner feels weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then the swearing and the yelling and that not being unusual or surprising is like further concerning.
Further concerning, yes.
More
yes.
concerning.
I was not aware that was the direction that prank was going to go in. I thought it was going to be like oh my god, babe, I have no idea who this is. I'm so sorry. And then she'd be like, oh, don't worry about it. Lol, lol. Like, she's just a random girl we just met. Like, you passed out and like you did. Like, it's fine. Like, I don't know. Even that would have been like a weird.
It's a weird prank.
I was being group
Yeah,
thanked.
no,
pressure.
not on you. Not on you. Like, this was literally, like, the fiance's decision to do this prank. So, not on you at all. I just think, like, her decision to play the prank is a little weird. And then his yelling is also a little weird. That is a weird vibe.
It was a weird vibe. So, yeah, that was kind of my weekend vibe. And I was like, what the fuck was that?
Wow. What a weekend.
It was interesting. Yeah, I don't know. The prank gone totally wrong.
Domestic dispute.
Yeah. I was like in the middle of it. Like, they don't even know me. Excuse me.
Oh.
Anyway, yeah. That was that story. Let us know what you think. What's your story, Courtney?
Fun.
No, it was weird.
My story is not as exciting. But I had a weird restaurant experience this weekend. We wanted to go out for dinner, and I just all I wanted was a good bowl of pasta. Okay, it's not too much to ask for.
All anyone wants,
really.
Yes,
yeah, and that's what I was craving. And there's two really good Italian restaurants in Victoria, but they always have lines to get into, and I was just not about the lines. So I did a little research, and I found this little place. It was this Italian diner. It's called Frankie's Modern Diner. Don't mean to call you out Frankie's, but
whoa. Put them on blast.
So we decided to go there because I was like, diner, Italian, they're gonna have pasta.
It sounds classic.
We get there. First of all, I think we walked through the wrong door. Because some guy was like, hey guys, go over there to see the hostess, and it was literally at the other side of the restaurant. We had to walk through the entire restaurant to get to the hostess. I was like, this doesn't feel very COVID friendly, but okay, I'll do it. So we get to the hostess and we're like, hey, a table of two, and she was like, yeah, one sec, and she walks away, and it's just wandering around the restaurant blindly. We were like,
should we follow?
And then one waitress walks by us. And she's like, hey guys, thanks for coming. Have a great night. Because I think she thought we were leaving. And we were like, no. And then somebody else walks by and they're like, someone will be with you in a minute. And we were like, somebody is already with us, but okay, thank you. I don't know what's happening here. And so the host was just wandering around asking waitresses and the waiters if they had room in their sections for us, which I thought was weird. I feel like that should be better organized. Anyways.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
The bartender ended up having room in his section. I guess he was bartending and had a section. So she was like, all right, come with me. And we were like, okay. So we follow her to this table. And this table, it's just me and Janae. This table is this rounded bench.
Yeah.
Situation. Huge. Could sit 10 people. And it's a half semicircle. And it's directly facing somebody else's table. People enjoying an intimate meal. So Janae and I, you can't sit across from each other because you're literally miles apart. I couldn't hear him speaking if we sat on the other side. So we had to sit in the middle, staring at this family having a meal. And I am an anxious person, so I felt very uncomfortable. And these tables were very high up too, so it was everyone can see you.
Oh my god!
The vantage point of the whole restaurant. Literally, situation. Just felt like I was part of this person's meal. And then next, okay, I order a sangria. Not very complicated. Okay,
good.
It was on their happy hour too, so I was like, okay, sangria. The sangria comes and it literally there's no fruit in it. It was just wine and fruit juice, and I was like, this.
What is this recipe?
And they also didn't mix it. It didn't taste good. Whatever. It's fine.
Gross.
It's fine. It was $5, so I was like, it's fine.
A bad sangria. Yeah,
we'll accept it. Whatever. Next, the menu. Okay, I don't know what it is, but when I was a meat eater, I had no problem finding pasta. But as a vegetarian, it's they don't want to feed vegetarians just normal ass pasta. They always have to make it complicated or try to zhuzh it up, or they do no tomato sauce and just vegetables and just weird stuff, and I'm I just want pasta. That's all I want. So the only option available to me was curried pasta, and I was like, it sounds kind of weird, but you know what, I like curry. I want pasta. Sure, let's give it a go.
Okay.
Oh boy, those are two flavors that should not go together.
Really?
It was not good. was not good.
That sucks. Oh,
and I was like
man.
very ambitious about it too. He was like, you want the big one or the small one? And I was like, I want the big one. I want pasta.
lots of pasta.
And then I couldn't finish it, so I felt bad. So I got it like wrapped up to take home. And like I did end up finishing it, but it just really, when you really want something and you just don't get it.
Yeah.
It just like ruins your night. So I was already upset about that. And then we ordered dessert. Bad idea.
You guys just keep giving this place
Bad
second
idea.
chances.
Honestly,
like,
Janae had a fantastic meal. He had a really good experience. And he doesn't have social anxiety like me, so like he didn't have an issue with like the table situation.
Oh,
so he was fine. I was not fine. But
you're like,
so we ordered dessert. We ordered like a sampler of like 3. They have like pies and like cakes and stuff. So we got like a sampler. And samplers are supposed to be samplers. No, they come out with 3 big ass slices. One of key lime pie, one of apple pie, and one of cheesecake, which like good, but I was already so full from my large pasta.
Yeah.
And like apple pie, dry. Apple pie just tasted like they had like microwaved apples and put it inside like a pie crust. So yeah. So yeah, Frankie's Diner. I don't know about you. They do brunch, so I'm thinking maybe I'll go back for brunch and give them another chance because you can't fuck up brunch,
Yeah, maybe. We have no idea. We will never know. These guys.
Yeah, it was like a weird
That's
experience. Rough. Yeah. Yeah. I didn't get what I was craving.
No, that's
such
an
awkward situation.
Disappointing feeling. It's like, oh man, I hate that. And like when you have cravings, I feel like they're also low key built up over a couple of days too. Like it's never just like in the moment. You're like, I really want this. It's like you've been feeling it a little, and then you're feeling it a little more, and then you're
start thinking about it. And
and you want it even more, and then finally you break, and then for that to like not be satisfied, it's just so.
It's just so awkward
sucks.
staring at these people. I was like, so sorry. Anyways.
Oh, that's funny.
It was fine. It was weird, but it was fine.
Yeah.
Also, I think there's just a thing in Victoria that like samplers are just full sizes. Because this happened to me with the mimosas too.
Oh yeah.
Where, like I thought it was a flight,
sampler.
but it was just full ass mimosas. So
3 mimosas in a row.
I've learned my lesson now, Victoria. This is full sizes.
That's so cute. They're like, oh fuck samplers. That's honestly a life hack though. Like,
honestly,
just get the sampler because they'll just give you so
all
much. I love that.
I know. I just like gotta be prepared for that going in next time. Shall we move on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, guys. Now is the time of the podcast where we talk about the Polski from last week's ski. So, you can find that on our Instagram at very.unimportant.people. So let's get into it. Courtney, let's kick us off.
All right, guys. So the first question this week was, do you drink Diet Coke? And 71% of you said no, which I find very interesting because I think Diet Coke is like a very popular drink.
Yeah.
But maybe it's like something that's not popular in the younger generations. Maybe it's like a boomer.
I feel like it could be. I don't know a lot of people who drink like Diet Coke or really like Coke at all. Like I actually don't have a lot of friends who enjoy pop. Come to think of it.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, so maybe it's an older generation thing. So cool. Good work, you guys.
The
Being
next
healthy.
one was, have you heard of Stuxnet? And 83% of you said no. Guys, that's so crazy. I totally relate. I didn't hear of it until like last week's episode either, and it was shocking. The entire country could have been flooded into darkness.
We had no idea.
Happened. And we just had no idea. Yeah. Crazy.
To be honest with you, it should be closer to 100% that said no, but I said yes because I had heard of it on the podcast. I don't know why I participate in these polls. I feel like I'm breaking them, but I just find it's like so much fun.
No, keep going. Keep participating. I love it. That's so funny.
The next question was, do you find yourself purchasing things based on the dream it provides? 86% of you said yes.
This is very honest. That's
very
good,
vulnerable.
You guys. Yeah. Thank you for bringing your feelings to this poll. It's really sweet because like, yeah, I had trouble admitting that on last week's episode, but it is true. I'm glad you guys are much more in tune with yourselves. Yeah. Yeah. And the last question was, do you think World War III will be fought by hackers creating viruses and computer worms? 60% of you said no. 40% of you said yes. Very interesting. Thought-provoking. Almost 50-50, yes.
So it's possible.
Yeah, honestly,
Could
it
happen.
really is. I wasn't sure what I was expecting for this one, but I'm pretty happy with the outcome.
I don't know what I was expecting for any of them. They're all very okay.
Yes,
Good job.
yes.
Good work, guys.
Thank you so much for participating, you guys. Check us out on Instagram for the poll every week on Wednesday or Thursday. It's up for 24 hours, so whenever you can catch it, catch it. And yeah, we'll see you guys with the poll again next time.
Bye.
Bye. Let's go.
Okay. I go first, right?
Go. I'm so excited. Yeah, it's your turn.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Here.
So I am going first this week, and I am like so excited for this opinion this week. So this week I'm covering the Avril is dead conspiracy, which is like the Avril Lavigne is dead conspiracy, and like
Avril Lavigne is dead.
Yeah.
Why didn't anybody tell me?
Through going through all of the evidence and stuff like that for this conspiracy theory, I came up with my own theory, which I'll go through at the end. But that's kind of my opinion, is like the theory that I developed about it. But yeah, I'm going to do the Avril Lavigne is dead conspiracy theory. This is very near and dear to my heart. A big Avril fan.
Yes,
big
and
Avril
she
fan.
looks like her too.
Yeah, I kind of look like her. We covered that a little bit last week. And she just came out with a new song. So yes, very near and dear to my heart. I love her so much. I'm obsessed with her. But okay, let's get into it. So basically, there is a conspiracy that Avril was replaced by a lookalike named Melissa in 2003, and
Named
that
Courtney.
the real Avril Lavigne
Sorry,
is actually dead. Dun dun dun.
dead. Avril.
Dead.
No.
So, according to the conspiracy, the real Avril would have died shortly after the release of her first studio album, which was Let Go. So that is the only one that's theorized to actually be by Avril.
Okay. Look at a timeline of her albums.
I think it was like 2004.
Let Go was the
Let
one
Go?
with Complicated, Skater Boy.
Yeah, like OG
I'm with
Avril.
you. Oh my god, my jam.
OG Avril.
Things I'll never say. Nobody's fool. Yeah, OG Avril. This was
Okay.
This was a good time for Avril Lavigne for sure. 2002.
So 2002. There you go. So the origins of this theory date back to 2011 to a Brazilian blog, and the blog article was called
Random.
Avril Está Morta, which translates to Avril is dead.
Avril is dead in Spanish.
Yes, and so it was theorized that the pressures of fame, combined with the death of her grandfather, had sent Avril into a deep depression, and she had killed herself after the release of Let Go.
What? Oh my god.
Yeah.
I
So
didn't know
dark.
that was a theory.
Dark. I mean, there's
thought
some
she had
fringe
died of,
theories
like,
where
a
people have
different-
alternate
Yeah.
theories and stuff like that, which we'll get into. But this is like the original Avril is dead theory. They thought that she killed herself because she didn't like fame, and
Her grandfather was
her grandpapa died. So yeah. So while she was alive, there was a lookalike named Melissa Vandella, who was hired to distract the paparazzi. And this part is actually real. She did hire
real?
Melissa. I think so. This is what I struggled to actually figure out,
wow.
but I'm pretty sure this part is real. She did hire Melissa, but it wasn't to replace her or anything like that. It was literally just to trick paparazzi to think she was somewhere
sure,
where
like
she
a
could actually just go
doppelganger.
hang out somewhere else. And so obviously Melissa
I bet
looks
a lot
a
of
little bit like
celebrities
her.
do that. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. You know what the weird thing is, though, about Melissa Vandella is she is an actress. But if you look her up online, nothing comes up. No, IMDb, nothing. Melissa Vandella does
she's
not exist.
never been in a fringe theater production.
Yeah, and
or,
it's how is she an actor
and
if
doesn't
she doesn't
even
have anything?
have a portfolio.
Yeah.
Okay, that's something to consider.
So Melissa was hired to distract paparazzi while Avril was going through, her shit. And Melissa and Avril actually became friends, and Avril started this is conspiracy theory now. Avril started teaching Melissa how to act and sing like her. So this was before she passed away. And it said that after she died, Avril's recording company just replaced her with Melissa because she was making so many profits and she was so big at the time that they didn't want to for that to die out. So they're just okay, you're Avril now. And they just continued her legacy with Melissa in her place.
Wow, that is so snake. But honestly, I don't put it past recording companies.
Me neither.
They do some such sketchy fucking shit. Like keep releasing Mac Miller songs. Mac Miller has been dead.
I know.
Like he passed away, and it was a tragedy. Don't release any more music. It's so shameful. I can't believe it.
The other night, like Janae and I, sometimes we just like watch music videos on Apple Music just for fun because like I like music videos.
I love doing that. That's what,
and like Mac Miller's song came on, and there was a music video for it, and it was like just like of an animated dog and stuff like that. But I was like, it feels wrong to watch this. Like,
I agree.
Did he okay this? Like,
no, there's no way.
Was this in his will or something? Like, why?
No.
Who decided? Who's doing the animation? Why is there a dog? Why is there a song? Like, anyways. Yes.
I totally agree. So yeah, for that reason, I totally think that it's possible for these, like, some of these music recording companies are just like snakes in the grass. They will do anything for profit. Like some of them have no morals. Some of them, I'm sure they're fine.
Maybe.
I haven't heard of them, but I'm sure they're fine.
All right. So some evidence from the original Avril Esta Morta blog includes, moles and blemishes that Avril had in 2002 are no longer there after 2002. So there's like a specific photo where it shows her arm and she has like a series of freckles, I guess.
Yeah.
And they like circle them and then they track them on the new Avril. And the new Avril does have freckles, but they're in like a different place.
Okay. Did you take a look at this evidence and do you think that it is sufficient?
This specific one, no. This specific one, I was like, I don't spot the difference. But, you know, people do. Sure. There's also a photo shoot where Avril, I don't know if it's actually Avril, where someone, Avril, has Melissa written on her hand. I was like, okay. It would be weird for someone to write their own name on their hand, but
I guess so.
Okay, and this one we cannot ignore, you guys. The shocking change in appearance. This is something that even like little grade 3 me was like, what happened to Avril when that 2007 what's that album called? The Best Damn Thing? Is that what it's called?
I think that was the next one. So it started with
the first one is
wait, what was Under My Skin?
Okay. We're getting there. Okay. Let me just a little discography for you guys. So the first one was Let Go in 2002, and then Under My Skin was 2004, and then The Best Damn Thing was 2007. Okay? But from the 2002 and 2004 to the 2007 album, like Avril looks night and day different.
Yeah.
Night and day. And like her style is different, her voice is kind of different. And the hair is the thing that baffles me the most. Because, like, everything else you can kind of change. Like, her clothes and all that. But somehow her hair went from, like, little limp hair like mine. Very thin, very fine to, like, hella volume. And, like, every single interview she does, hella volume. And I understand that you can do, like, extensions and stuff like that. But it's still like that today. Like, her hair just suddenly became voluminous.
Interesting.
And I don't understand how.
Maybe she's wearing a wig or something like that. But yeah, also the voice change. I mean,
but
I've
from
heard
2007 until
that
now,
part. Yeah.
To be wearing a wig that whole time.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
It would be
crazy.
crazy.
Even in the Bite Me album cover, her hair is like so crazy. Like she has a lot
and she's
of
been
it.
on,
like obviously that's in extensions, but
yeah. She's been on like TikTok and stuff like that recently. And her hair is still like that. Like when she's just hanging around in her home. Like her hair is like
huge.
So yeah.
Well, maybe there's some celebrity secrets we don't know about, but yeah, that is something to be suspicious of. Definitely.
Okay.
The voice, I mean, the voice change could be just like attempt to like change her appearance because Miley Cyrus did this too. You know, like we've heard a lot of people, even Justin Bieber, for example, like as you mature, your voice changes. Like things can get different if you're trying to match like a certain look. Like,
yeah, I guess so.
Goodbye Lullaby.
So back to the album Under My Skin.
Yes.
This one is very caught up in the controversy because this album would have been the transitionary period, but it's very much like old Avril, not like new Avril. But there's a lot of people that think it was actually put together by pre-recordings from old Avril. And a lot of people have analyzed the lyrics from this album and think that it is a hint to what happened. So, for example, the song My Happy Ending, which is like my favorite song from that album.
Yeah.
It suggests that Melissa feels guilt over participating in this farce.
Oh my God.
And also in the song Slipped Away, there's a lyrics that says, the day that you slipped away was the day I found it won't be the same.
Oh,
which to me kind of feels like lyrics, but
yeah. Kind of feels like lyrics.
But if you really look into them,
it could mean like the day real Avril died, that's when Melissa knew her life was going to change. Because she was going to like sign on to Avril. This. And now she is taking on Avril's persona. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Nobody's Home also. That's kind of crazy because like, I don't know, even just the titles, looking through the titles of this album, like even like Nobody's Home, Who Knows, Slipped Away. Like it all hints towards something else, forgotten.
Like if you have this lens on, the conspiracy lens on, then this album is pretty telling. Yeah. The songs have some pretty interesting
themes. Do they
themes.
think that Melissa was like did some of the singing in this album as well?
So this conspiracy does split off to a bunch of other, like there's different schools of thought within this conspiracy, and some people think that this album was entirely made up of old Avril recordings, and some people think that it's recorded by new Avril, just leaving hints.
Okay.
So there's
I like that.
Internet is torn on this one, but 2007 onwards, definitely Melissa.
Definitely Melissa.
There's no question about that one.
Oh man, I feel bad because I didn't really listen to albums like 2007 and onwards. I
only listened to 2007.
Yeah,
that one's so good.
The best damn thing. Actually, maybe I did. Oh yeah, Girlfriend. Of course.
Yeah, right. Classic. After that, stop listening. But it's fine. It's fine. So there's also, I'm sure everyone's seen these on the internet, but there's a bunch of interviews that fake Avril kind of flopped that the real Avril would have nailed.
What does that mean?
Where like, okay, so I have some examples. So the first one would be that there's this interview from old Avril where she's saying that she's 10 when she wrote her first song. And then there's like 3 clips of new Avril like later on in interviews saying she was like 14, 12, 7. Like she just keeps changing the age that she wrote her first song. There's one where they compare like 2 videos. So the old Avril is talking about how if she wasn't in music, she would want to be a cop so she could pull guns and drive around in a cop car and like
she was so edgy.
I know.
She was always that girl who's just like, I hate the world. I love her.
Yeah. And then years later they ask her the same question. Like it's a different interview, but they ask the same question. And Avril is like, I would have wanted to be a hairstylist or an interior designer. So it's like 180 flip on personality.
What the fuck?
There's another one where old Avril is like insulting pop music. Yeah. And she's like talking about how it's like not real music and people just write things that will like get money, where like Avril writes from the heart and that's why people like her song, and that she like cringes every time people call her like a pop queen. And then years later, there's an interview where they're like, Avril, what's your favorite genre of music? And she's like, I love pop music. Which just like,
that's a very strong opinion to hold, and especially towards music. If you're in the music industry, I feel like it's something that you hold on to for life. Like people feel strongly about music. That's super suspicious. And then for her to not acknowledge that even if she said something like, I used to really hate pop, but now I like it.
Yeah.
Would be redeeming.
I love pop music.
That's some bullshit if I ever heard. Jeez. Oh my God.
And there's this one that I couldn't find it on the internet, but I so vividly remember seeing this one. And like I've seen the original video on TikTok recently. And it's a video from Avril. I think it's like backstage on one of her music videos for her first album. And there's a spider on the ground. And old Avril literally picks the spider up in her mouth, runs outside, and spits it out outside. Okay?
I can't.
The most meta thing I've ever heard. But
that
she like
so insane.
And spits it out. And then there is an interview of new Avril, and they start talking about bugs. And she like starts freaking out and she's like, I hate bugs. Like, I'm so scared of them. Like, ew, like, don't touch me with that bug. And like starts like losing it.
Very
which
different
is not
than
a stance.
Queen.
Yeah. That you can just change. Like, if you hate bugs, you hate bugs.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you generally don't go from liking bugs to hating bugs. Some people go from hating bugs to being okay with bugs, but it doesn't usually go the other way.
Oh my
So that one
God.
is...
That... Okay, I'm starting to think that either, yes, she is dead, or something else happened. Like, maybe she, like, because she has Lyme disease, right? So,
okay, yeah.
Maybe something happened with, like, drugs or a rehab center or something like that, like, rewired her brain? Or maybe she is dead.
Some people think that she's not dead, but when she had Lyme disease, she like, you know, went MIA and Melissa took over while she had Lyme disease. So that's like a fringe theory.
Oh, and now she's like back now that
I
she's...
guess so.
Because Lyme disease... Isn't Lyme disease for life once you get it?
I think it's for life, but I think there are like treatments.
Okay. So there's
like
like
I
varying
think she's
degrees
doing
of...
better now. She still has
Okay.
Lyme disease, but she's not like feeling like she's dying anymore.
Yes, very
just
good.
like
Very
more
good.
mild to moderate death, not extreme death.
Okay.
You know.
Okay. That's good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Happy for her.
So here are some more differences. Old Avril used to have like panic attacks while talking to paparazzi or doing any interviews. New Avril is very comfortable around the paparazzi.
Oh my gosh.
Old Avril was very tomboy and she liked to wear like pants on the red carpet and a lot of black. New Avril, or fake Avril, likes to wear like dresses and skirts and loves the color pink, which is fine. You know, people are allowed to change their opinions about colors and their style. So I kind of hate this one, but whatever.
I would love to get an interview with this so-called Avril Lavigne and just like talk to her about this stuff and be like, what happened?
She's commented on it a few times.
Really? I would love for... Because like it's one thing for her to be like, I'm obviously not dead, you guys, but it's another thing to actually sit down with her, get Oprah in there and be like, what happened? Like, just get to the bottom of it. Like, what changed in your personality? Like, what did you go through? Like, why are you a completely different person? And then if that doesn't line up, then
Maybe she's dead.
maybe she is. And maybe the end of the Oprah interview, she'll be like, I'm Melissa. I've been I can't live this lie anymore. That would be something.
That would be good. And then I wrote down a few quotes, which I thought were just like really funny from high school students that were like interviewed about the theory. They were like believers in the theory.
Yeah.
And one of them said, I mean, she did marry Nickelback, so I guess anything really is possible.
She married Nickelback.
And then the other person, Brian Chang, said he also voiced concern, saying, why would she marry Chad from Nickelback? It just doesn't make any sense.
Chad.
And I just love so much that that's like a central part
of
the conspiracy. They're like, it can't be. Avril would never marry Chad. No sane person. And also, why is it the most Canadian thing ever just to hate Nickelback, but also love Nickelback? Like,
it's a
we all know
thing.
when Rockstar comes on, like, we are jamming, but everyone is like, fuck you, Nickelback.
Yeah, the concerts sold out.
Right? It's like the weirdest love-hate relationship.
I love it. That's so good. Chad. They had a song together. I think they wrote it when they broke up.
That's awkward.
Drama. Yeah. Anyways.
Why would you do that?
I don't know.
Why would you write a song with your ex? Anyways. So yes, and then there's that whole like voice change thing. So I watched a video of a voice teacher analyzing her like voice singing the same song in 2003 and 2007. And like they sound so different. So different. One's like very low and moody. The other one is like very high and like preppy. But the music teacher just says that she's singing in a different timbre. So she kind of like debunks this one. But I don't know. I don't really understand singing.
Debunkable. It's like, I don't know. It's like seeing Justin Bieber sing Baby in 2012.
Yeah.
And then when he does it in his shows today. Like, obviously it's a difference, but even when he was like going through like growing up and stuff like that, like it would change almost every year, like his voice would change and he would sound different. And how old was Avril when she got famous? She was young, right?
I think
like
she was like
16. 19. She was 16 when, brah.
I don't know. I don't know if that number is real. But also, I think
she was
female
older,
voices change as much as male voices. And I think they change earlier if they do change. Correct me if I'm wrong, science people, if any science people listen to this podcast. But I'm pretty sure female voices don't change as much.
Yeah,
it's like
I guess so.
Thing, you know?
Yeah, that's
Take
true.
it all low.
I think throughout your life, though, your voice does change, though. Maybe.
Yeah.
Because, like, sometimes on the phone, like, you can tell what age of a person you're talking to.
True.
Sometimes. That's not always
But, like,
the case,
between the ages of, like, what, like 16 and 20, I don't know if it would change that much. Like, maybe, like, 20 and, like, 60, you'd be like, okay, this 60-year-old. But, I don't know.
Maybe. This is a voice science thing. I still think there's a little bit of a difference. But also I like the conspiracy theory. So
and then these are just like my own observations of like the interviews compared to one another. So old Avril is very like hyper and anxious and fidgety, but she's also very like polite and like engaging in the interview. And new Avril is more like low energy, calmer. She's talking slow, but she's also kind of standoffish. Like some of the answers that she gives, I'm like, you could have tried.
The edgy queen.
You could have tried. You know when people like answer questions just to like shut things down and like don't give anyone a chance to like probe further about the question. It's just like no.
Oh,
nothing else. You know, stuff like that. She did. I was like,
yeah,
okay. And so this theory picked up a bit of traction in 2015 when a BuzzFeed reporter tweeted about it, saying that this theory was created to show how real conspiracies can be created to look. So he's basically saying that like this was created to make you fall for it, to make a point about conspiracies. But it really blew up in 2017 when a high school student posted the theory on Twitter, and he wrote a thread about it. And he cited changes. Such a good point in our lives. He stated changes in her face, changes in her fashion style, changes in her handwriting. And he's the one that presented the theory that Under My Skin was pre-recorded before Avril died.
Interesting. I saw the handwriting one too.
Oh,
I thought that was really interesting. It's very.
I haven't
different.
seen that one.
Her handwriting is like completely different, but he was using source from a music video that she recorded, and versus like a picture that she took on her Instagram or something like that. So it's very possible that the handwriting in the music video was just a prop. So I think that's kind of where the credibility was lost.
I don't think she wrote that. That's not really how movies work. In a 2017 Facebook Live Q&A session, somebody literally asked her if she was dead. And she replied, "No, I'm not dead. I'm right here."
Yikes. That's rough.
She was also asked in Australia in 2018 on like a talk show interview about the conspiracy. And she was like, and she replied, "Some people think I'm not the real me. That's so weird. Like, why would you even think that?" But a lot of people are saying that she's never actually flat out denied that she's been replaced.
Wow.
She's just saying like, "I'm not dead, I'm right here." And like, why would you think that? That's crazy. But not actually like,
interesting.
You know,
she's never been
confirming,
like, this is fake,
nor denying.
I see. I think that maybe her PR team is like, this is free publicity. Just play along. Just play along and just try your best to like not give them too much so that they keep tweeting about it and they keep trying to find new evidence because it'll give you more fans and like more publicity or something like that. Possibly. That would be a good move if that is what they're doing. That would be smart. The curtains.
And so there's like two other like fringe theories. The one was that she has Lyme disease, which I mean, she does have Lyme disease. That's not a theory, but that Melissa just replaced her while she was battling Lyme disease. And then there's another one that she died in 2013 in a skiing accident in Whistler. I don't really know about that one. That one
Wow.
was just like mentioned. Okay, but this
Just thrown in there.
this I loved. So in 2021, very recently, at the VMAs, she was on the red carpet and like MTV did an interview with her, and you know how they display the name of the person like while they're talking under the person?
Yeah.
They put Avril Lavigne in quotation marks for her interview. And it kind of just like revived the conspiracy on Twitter all over again.
Stop it! That is
Avril
too
Lavigne.
good. Avril Lavigne in quotes. Oh my
Which
god,
I
that
love.
poor girl.
I know, poor thing.
That's so funny. MTV. I honestly love that. That's so subtle, and like for them to do that is such a shout out to the fans. Like,
amazing.
I kind of love that. That's really good.
Chef's kiss.
Yes.
The original author of Avril Esta Morta actually did admit to making up the whole thing.
Damn
So,
it! No.
I know. And she did actually just want to see if people would believe something like ridiculous, and people did. But
She had such good evidence.
I do have an alternative theory, and you kind of touched on it a little bit. I think you picked up on the theory a little.
Okay.
I think that Avril either had a substance abuse problem or was using substances to cope with interviews, because she was very anxious about interviews and she did have panic attacks. And there's a video of her when she's young, like an interview of her talking about like how much she like loves to party and like go crazy and like get drunk. And I was like, that's very young to be that excited about those things. And
She lived
in
in
like
Napanee.
yeah, what else is there to do? And in the like new Avril like interviews that people are saying it's a different person, she does seem like she is just like very drugged out or like maybe high and like out of it, like answering very slowly and like kind of slurring her words a little bit and like
my
not totally
God.
present. So I think
Yeah.
she either had substance abuse problems or was taking drugs before interviews to calm her anxiety about interviews. And maybe
Totally.
this is something in her life that she doesn't want to talk about publicly, and maybe that's why she's never addressed the theory.
Yeah,
But that's
because
my
she doesn't
theory
want
about
people to
Avril.
know that she's taking like anti-anxiety medication like right before
Yeah,
every
or just
interview.
like getting high before interviews.
yeah,
It's
to just, like,
possible.
chill her out a little
She's
bit.
famous, you know. There's a lot of
Wow.
drugs in the. I don't know if she doesn't live in Hollywood. I don't know where she lives.
I have
There's a
no
lot of drugs amongst famous people, so
Yes.
it wouldn't be like totally off the mark.
Oh, that's so interesting.
And she did marry
yeah.
Chad, so
There was
I don't know
There's
if
no way
anyone
she
makes that
did
kind of
that.
decision
sober.
with a sound mind.
Oh, fucking Chad.
Poor Chad.
He gets so much hate. But he makes so much money. Like, he's thriving off the hate. I mean, I love it.
I know.
Oh. Very interesting.
So that's my
I like your
that's
theory.
my theory about Avril.
I think yours is pretty solid, to be honest.
Thanks.
Because, like, people did notice a change in her. They saw that something was different. And, like, it doesn't have to be that she is dead. It could just be that she
There's a
is
lot of
taking
alternatives.
medication.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like the
Avril,
voice
if you're
thing
listening.
and the style thing, like those are all
Yeah.
things that you can change, and especially for somebody who was like their first album barely famous to getting picked up by a label. Like labels have a lot of say
Yeah.
over what you wear, how you look. Like they were probably coaching her on
100%. And they were like, this is
Yeah.
what is going to make you famous. So right now you're too edgy for pop. And if you want to get into pop, you have to be a little bit more
Exactly.
bubblegum. And she was
and
like,
as you get more
"Alright."
famous, you probably have less and less control over like
Yeah,
what you put
that's
out
such a
there.
good point.
So kind of makes sense.
Yeah, it could just be she is, you know, a little bit of a product of the industry, a little bit of
Poor
that.
little Avril. But
I
she's
know.
back. She's back,
I
guys.
Yeah,
Listen to
I'm
her new
excited
song.
she's
It's called Bite Me. It's on Spotify. It sounds like old Avril, and
back. Yeah,
so into it.
I love it. How could she be dead if she's still releasing good music? You know,
Come on, guys. Come on.
she's right there.
I'm right here.
I'm right here. What
Are you
not
dead?
I'm right here. Pretty sick.
So that's the Avril is dead conspiracy.
That's pretty
Debunked. Maybe. I don't know.
Debunked.
You guys can believe whatever you want, but I don't know.
Okay, guys. Now is the second half of the podcast, and I want to talk to you guys about Wikipedia, because what the hell is going on with Wikipedia? Why do they keep asking us for money? They've been asking for money for so freaking long, and like, I'm just wondering, where does the money go? Why do they need us to donate like constantly? And yeah, so this is kind of what I got into a little bit this week, because I did donate $25 to Wikipedia. Yes, I did. And I just realized that that is kind of the opposite of what Wikipedia is, because it's like a free encyclopedia.
Yeah.
So once you pay for it, it's not free anymore. You paid for it. So I feel like I ruined a good thing in a way, just a little bit, but I don't know. They were just making me feel so guilty about it. I felt like I had no choice. And also, to be honest, I also donated like a year ago. I gave them $10.
Yeah, I remember that. That was like at the beginning of our podcast. You talked about it on the podcast. And I remember being like, what?
Why?
Wikipedia doesn't need money. Literally people writing things on the internet.
Yeah. Yeah, they have a couple of employees. They have a couple of people who they need to pay. And they have to pay for hosting the encyclopedia too. So that's pretty much where their money goes, but we'll get into that a little bit later because I found out pretty much that I did not actually need to donate to Wikipedia, but also like, it's not the worst thing you can do for Wikipedia. No. You know what I mean? Like,
it's like a pretty neutral place to donate.
Yeah. And like, the money isn't going to anywhere except for to Wikipedia. Like, people aren't getting paid for it. They have like a couple of employees. They have that they sometimes pay, but most of them are volunteers anyways. So it's like,
but where does the money go then?
It just sits
to hosting. It sits there.
Yeah, and they have a giant savings account where they hoard their money just in case like they don't make donations, and then they have money to fall back on. So if they don't get any donations at all for the next year to pay for hosting, they'll be able to continue their website for another year and a half. So like, they have a lot of money, but it's like they're still very much reliant on donations, on the 2% of people who donate to Wikipedia.
That's strange, because I feel like Wikipedia is such an institution in everyone's lives that if like Wikipedia was in danger, people would help,
Yeah.
If they were actually in danger of... No, but like, that's because they're not in danger right now. Like, if they were like, guys, we can't pay to host this. If you don't help us out, Wikipedia's gone forever. People would be like, okay, I'm going to help you out because like, you're Wikipedia. But I feel like they don't need it right now.
Now they don't, but that's just because people have been donating. Like, it's just because they've been able to like sustain activity like every year so far because of these freaking ad campaigns that they run. And I'm sure you guys have seen these before, where they're just like, please donate money to us. We humbly ask you, the internet user, support net neutrality and keep us ad free, or we will fucking kill ourselves. And you're like, okay,
all right,
calm down. I have $5 to spare. I will literally hold you up on my back single-handedly. I got you, Wikipedia. Like, they run these fucking ads that just like really get into your head personally. And for like 2% of other people. Yeah, literally. And then they also gaslight for everybody else. They're like, 98% of people will just skip this. Will you? 98% of people keep scrolling. Are you gonna keep scrolling? Or
that's like those Facebook ads that it's like, if you keep scrolling, your mom will die. Do you hate your mom? You don't share this.
Oh my god, literally. You will be haunted for 7 days. Yeah, they're really dramatic. Like, they're really crazy with it. So it's like, okay, fine, I'll fucking donate. So they've been doing that for like a really long time, and slowly, as the amount of articles that they have expand, also the money that they need to pay for internet hosting goes up, and then they get like a couple new employees or something like that who do the actual editing. So there's like 400 people who are employed with Wikipedia who are in charge of the entire Wikipedia. So they do like the editing, and like if anybody vandalizes Wikipedia, it's insane. If anybody vandalizes, then they're the first people to kind of like combat that. For example, Donald Trump's entire Wikipedia page was deleted from Wikipedia and replaced with, let's be honest, no one cares about this guy. And
why would they ever change that back?
They're neutral, they have to like be able to kind of give information on anything and everything, and they want to be able to give like the good and the bad and like every side and stuff like that, and that's what they stand for. neutral space just for information, you know, no like stances on anything. Well, they try. I mean, they try to like be like that, but is anything really neutral? Who knows? So Wikipedia started as a competitor for Britannica Online, who were doing really well, and they were very established. And Wikipedia was like, hold on a second, Mr. Jimmy Wales, or Jimbo, as he is known online. Yeah. He's the founder of Wikipedia, and on his own Wikipedia page, he was like known as Jimbo. Cute.
All right.
He founded Newpedia, which was like not good, because at first they were trying to do what Britannica Online was doing, and they were trying to get accredited people and like accredited sources to write articles for free and to like just do these things for free. So
capitalism said no.
Yeah, no, capitalism said no, thank you. So by the end of the first year, they had a grand total of 12 articles out. He was like, oh God, this is not good. So he decided to start Wikipedia, and they like stole this idea of a wiki from this website called WikiWeb, which is like wiki. Yeah, exactly. So it was like this forum for people who wanted to learn more about computer languages and about like hacking and stuff like that, and people were able to go in and edit, and like it was a quick kind of editing situation. The word wiki is actually Hawaiian for quick. Fun fact.
Ooh.
So that's where he got the idea of like editing. Yeah. Of like editing stuff down to try to figure it out. Also, Jimbo is a finance bro. He almost got his PhD in finance. Isn't that
in finance?
Yeah. I'm like, what the fuck?
I didn't know you could do that. I mean, I guess I knew you could.
I guess you could, but like, what the fuck?
Understand
what is your
finances?
thesis? Like, I don't understand. But apparently that wasn't his dream, and his dream was to start an internet company. So he went off and he created Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia run by volunteers and by the community. Also, a fun fact, January 15th is Wikipedia Day. Cool. And
we love those micro holidays. Did they buy it for?
I don't think so. It's just like when it was founded, I guess. And by the end of the first year, there was 20,000 articles, which was doing way better than Newpedia. And eventually in 2004, they shut down Newpedia with a grand total of 24 articles online. I know.
Oh no.
Big wah in favor of Wikipedia, which obviously at this point had like 100,000. And he established it as a nonprofit, only a couple of employees, and like this is where the freaking advertising thing starts to come in, right?
Finance bro started a non-profit?
Yeah.
Is he doing it for tax evasion purposes?
He does evade taxes because of donations.
Okay. Saw that one coming.
Yes. The taxes are being evaded.
There it is. There is nothing pure under capitalism.
No, definitely. Never. I mean, Wikipedia is like, I feel like it's a pretty close thing to being pure. He has other stuff that's going on, like, I don't even know, but the advertisements, I wrote here that they basically read as a desperate message from your ex. Because they do, it literally begs you to spare the money. And like, they're like, oh, it's just for the price of coffee. Yeah. Literally. I need a coffee this morning. And it's like,
don't
will you be contributing? Like, keep Wikipedia ad free. Keep them free of advertisers. And this, I was like, why should we keep Wikipedia free of advertisers? Why can't we just throw ads on it? Just like everything else in this fucking world.
No one will look at. Yeah,
exactly.
Just on the side.
Yeah, just a little like side advertisement thing or something like that. But they're very against it. They do not like the fact that the whole thing is supposed to be neutral. So if they get sponsored by someone huge, for example, like Google, then they're worried that they'll have to remove the dirt that they have on Google or anything associated with Google. So it's important to them and their morals as a company, which I do appreciate, to stay as neutral as they possibly can, right? Yeah, so I donated to Wikipedia because of this. And I was like, this is interesting. And let me tell you about a little story. After I donated $10...
Can I ask you a quick question? Did you do all of your research on Wikipedia?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay,
cool.
Yeah, I know. They have a lot of good stuff on there. They really do. They even have like an entire page dedicated to like the pros and cons, or like pro advertising and not pro advertising and stuff like that. And they call themselves out for talking about how they're asking for money sounds like begging. They're like, some users don't like that we beg for money. and would rather just see advertisements. I'm like, whoa, you are so self-aware.
Read my mind.
Yeah, literally. So after I donated the first time to Wikipedia, I just started getting these really dramatic emails, and I have dug them up for you guys. So I just want to like show you some of the stuff that I've been receiving from Wikipedia, because it's insane. Like, these guys literally just have no shame whatsoever. Like, this girl Catherine from Wikipedia, I'm assuming she's one of the employees. She's like, thank you so much for your gift of $10. Like, your support of Wikipedia's mission means everything right now. And then she goes in about the pandemic, and she's like, I'm writing to you from my home, which has also become my office. And then she goes on to talk about how they're like, yeah, right. And she's like, I'm sure you can relate. Like, we're so happy that we can make knowledge available to you. Like, no matter where you are, like, thank you so much. I'm grateful and deeply honored to be on this journey with you.
On this journey?
This knowledge journey, I guess.
What's the journey?
I don't know.
To
keep
$10.
That's what I'm saying.
We were hoping that was no strings attached.
Literally.
Aww.
And then I started getting emails from Jimbo Wales himself.
From the CEO himself.
The CEO. He sent me an email. Okay, I had no idea. I've never seen this email address in my life before, but the title was "We've Had Enough." And I was quite shook. It was pretty intense, and he just goes on to be like, at every turn we're pressured to compromise our values, and I'll be honest, we've had enough. People always ask us, why not just run ads to make revenue or capture and sell readers' data, blah 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 blah. He's like, while all these things are normal, we would like to remind you that there's another way, a way that doesn't jeopardize the neutrality of our content and threaten your personal data. So they're also really into like protecting your privacy and stuff like that, which is super fun. So yeah,
even though you go to Google to go to Wikipedia.
Yeah. But you can search Wikipedia like on Wikipedia. So I guess that's a more safer way to do it.
But how do you get to Wikipedia? You have to open a web browser that is already tracking and selling your information. Like, I can't just open Wikipedia.
Yeah, that's true.
I have to go to Google, type in Wikipedia, then get on Wikipedia.
Yeah, but then can Google track you once you're in Wikipedia? Like, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Maybe they have like a little blocky
block. Get there.
Yeah, that's true. But then they just know that you went to Wikipedia. Like, that's not super like, that's not super detrimental, you know?
No,
yeah,
let us in.
What
are you doing in there?
That's so cute. Wikipedia is like the little safe haven of the internet, you know? Yeah, and then I got another email from him that said...
Him personally.
Yeah. You are one of the rare exceptions. Guys, these emails are so dramatic. Yeah. Like, he's going in. He's like, thank you so much for donating Canadian $10 to
Canadian $10.
I have to throw that in there. Oh my gosh. And yeah, and then at the end, he highlighted like about how most people will ignore this message. We have no choice but to turn to you. Please renew your gift to ensure that Wikipedia remains independent, ad-free, and thriving for years to come. Ah, man, they tell you it's going to be a one-time donation, and then they guilt you. They guilt you into like telling yourself that you need to give them another donation, which it fucking works. I'm not gonna lie. I did give them $25 this year. But honestly, I've been reading on Wikipedia like a lot recently anyways. So like, I don't know. You might as well take my minimum wage money. Like, I guess that's fine. I guess $25 is totally fine. So I guess you're welcome, everybody. I'm a part of the 2% of people who are keeping Wikipedia alive.
Thank you. Thank you for taking the weight of the world on your shoulders, Lydia.
You're welcome. It's
holding
up
the internet
It's
single-handedly.
hard to carry. Like, my shoulders get tired, you know? So I was like, where's my money going? And it turns out that they are doing okay.
Okay.
They actually don't need my money.
Oh, no.
Since they're a nonprofit, the money goes towards savings, right? Like I was saying. And like, they just pile up their money. In 2019, they accumulated $165 million. And if that's over 20 years of being around. So that started at $20,000. And then every year They
Hold on, how much?
it's 165
165.
million. Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna do math. I don't know how to do that. How
It's-
many zeros is that? 100? Okay,
I don't
anyways,
know.
continue.
So, yeah, that's if they don't get any donations. Like I was saying, they would be able to operate for another year and a half without ads. And then at that point, it's like, what do you do? Are you going to shut down Wikipedia? It's just going to become another like internet relic of the past that's just not functioning and overridden with like trolls and stuff like that. I'm not totally sure. And something about this that was kind of funny is when they started asking for money through like these desperate and emotional campaigns, it became a meme because people were like, what the fuck is
They're
this?
like, what's happening over on
Yeah.
Wikipedia?
And some of the memes, one of the memes was like, when you donate $4 to Wikipedia after using the website for 10 years. And then it's like this Family Guy quote. And he's like, don't be alarmed, but I think I might be Jesus. And there's another one that of people who donate $3 like carrying society, like holding up society on their backs. Like it's a lot of good stuff, and it's a lot of nice stuff. And a lot of people started suspecting that Wikipedia was actually contributing to the memes to promote donations.
I was just thinking that. I was like,
Yeah.
it sounds like they're feeding off of that a little bit. They're like, okay,
Yeah,
like
I
Avril, you know?
right? Yeah,
She's like,
they're like, this is good for
no
PR.
publicity, bad publicity.
Exactly, there's no such thing. But I mean, I'm kind of happy to see that like people are turning into a meme because it's so eye rolly and so like awkward to have to like scroll past the donation section on Wikipedia. Like it's just so uncomfortable. Anyways, so I wanted to also quickly comment on the like anyone can edit thing on Wikipedia, because when I was in high school and university, they often tell you that Wikipedia is not a source, which is true.
Yeah.
However, I do think that Wikipedia is reliable. It's not a source because it's a source of other sources. You know what I mean? It collects
That's a
the
good starting
information
point.
for you. Yeah, exactly. In one large page. The references are all at the bottom too. And if your work, like if your Wikipedia text or whatever can't be cited, then it lets you know. It tells you that this work has not been like officially cited, or like this doesn't have like a good source or whatever. And there's like a little symbol that says it just hasn't been verified. So I think if you use it mindfully, it's a fine source. And I have been the person who scrolls to the bottom of the Wikipedia page for sources and uses them for
Just clicks on
essays.
them.
Yeah. Or for other work. So I mean, it's kind of nice. Like I get how it's not a source, but it can be a source if you use it right.
can be.
And
Yeah, like if the information is somewhere else, just
go to that other place.
whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yeah, exactly. And then if that's not reliable, go to their sources. Just keep sourcing other people's sources until you get your shit done. And this was another like quick kind of aside that also doesn't have anything to do with the donations or Wikipedia itself. I was just distracted by this like cool YouTube video where this guy tests out this theory that if you click on the first Wikipedia link in a Wikipedia article, and if you skip pronunciations or the Wiktionary, which is the Wikipedia dictionary, it'll always lead you back to a philosophy page. My mind is freaking blown. I watched like 20 minutes of this guy going from WWE wrestling to philosophy just by clicking the first link. And it takes like less than 5 minutes. He did it with a couple other things. He did it with moths. It went from moths, polythy, evolution, hereditary, traits, to phenotypes, to genetics, to biology, to natural science, to knowledge, to fact, to reality, to object of the mind, to object, to philosophy.
Wow.
I know.
I've seen like videos on TikToks where people get 2 words and they start at one word and they have to like go through and click links and they have to get to the other word as fast as they can on Wikipedia.
Oh, that's interesting. That sounds like a fun little game. I kind of like that. Or we could do like, how fast will it take you to get to the philosophy page if you like start at this one, because it all leads back to philosophy. It's so crazy. It's so
I wonder if that's a
crazy.
Wikipedia thing or just like a humanity thing.
Yeah. Did they do it on purpose? Maybe it's just a humanity thing, because philosophy is like the study of humanity, kind of. So the question is, why doesn't Wikipedia just start running ads? If they're this desperate for money, why don't they just run ads? Jimmy Wales said because they don't want to.
Is that
He
Jimbo?
says, Jimbo, yeah.
Okay, don't
He
call
says,
him
like-
by his real name. Come on.
Sorry, his name is Jimbo. I apologize.
Jimbo.
He's been saying for years that he's opposed to ads, but he's open to the idea that it could make them more money to support their growing staff and to make Wikipedia better. But as of right
He is
now,
a finance bro.
yes, he is a finance bro. But as of right now, I think he enjoys being a non-profit. I feel like there's some benefits that come from that maybe a PhD in finance knows more about than I do. So, as of right now, the only ad plan that they have is like the links to donate. And they just want to like put them on other pages in the Wikimedia family, not just Wikipedia. And also, they feel like the click rate on the ads would be so low that it wouldn't even be worth it. And he also said that ads would cheapen the encyclopedia because in their nature, ads are made to persuade. And he's trying to make this encyclopedia a neutral place. So running ads could make it seem biased. And also...
As he guilt trips people into giving him $5.
I know, right? I don't know. And then also he said that seeing like the aesthetic part of it, seeing ads on a page could feel like the credibility isn't there and the content is less legit. Because if you see something overrun by ads, like you're automatically like, I click away pretty quickly sometimes. I'm like, I can't stand this. He also says that they're annoying and distracting. And because of the limited color palette on Wikipedia, he wants to keep it free of those kind of ads and free of distractions. And also the privacy violation. This isn't anything new. It's just about like tracking people. And like, he's really into privacy, which is great. You know, love it.
Fair enough.
And then some pro advertising ideas would be that ads on Wikipedia would just be writing and no pictures, no animations, nothing to distract anybody. It's just like kind of a little written something and then like a link that you can click also. There was also an idea that users could opt out of ads and users can choose where they want the ads to be placed.
Oh.
Yeah, and then also
No
the
way.
final part. Yeah, no, right? Where many users just don't like it when Wikipedia runs ads begging for money and they would just rather see the ads. So, yeah, that's kind of it. In conclusion, I guess my opinion, I would love it if Wikipedia remained ad-free. I think that it should remain ad-free, you know? Like, I'm totally happy to give them like $25, $10 would be better for my pockets, like a year or something like that. And I think if people were to see the option to opt out of ads, I don't think that they would take it. And I know this because people, for example, me, you know, I'm a part of this group as well, who go onto the Toronto Star, CNN, the New York Times, the Washington Post. They ask you for a monthly subscription, and then they ask you to turn off your ad blocker if you're not doing the monthly subscription. Like, well, I don't know what it is about spending money on the monthly subscription for something. I would rather see the ads. And I know for a fact, because they keep showing me this thing, like clearly they're not doing well. They're barely holding their heads above water because people would rather see the fucking ads.
Yeah. It's on. Yeah. Show me the ads. It's fine.
Yeah, literally.
I see ads everywhere else. Like, just show 'em. It's fine.
What's another ad?
What's another ad?
Off that note, it's pretty much the only ad-free website, I think, in existence, probably. And I think that we should try to keep that. Yeah, it's like a little piece of history, and it's like what we were talking about a couple weeks ago with like old internet and like how it's just kind of a piece of the internet and proof that the internet doesn't need to be overrun by ads, and it can actually be just a place for information and just to browse and like just
somewhere
to learn.
that you can browse.
Yeah, somewhere
It
that
exists.
you can actually surf the web. Like that place is actually existing, and it is kind of Wikipedia.
Yeah.
It just seems kind of innocent and like cute, and I kind of like it. And although you may feel guilty about not contributing to Wikipedia, that is my personal experience. Don't worry about it. That only lasts for like a minute. It goes away real quick, and then you forget that Wikipedia ever existed. And you can continue to read the articles and make the little ad telling you to pay for Wikipedia just disappear, and it won't show up for another like 4 months. Yeah. And
Very nice.
yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't want them to be sponsored by any company. I would like it if they just kind of remained in this like neutral, as much as neutral as they can. Like nothing is truly unbiased, but providing all of the information that you have is definitely a good step towards that future. Donate to Wikipedia if you want.
This was an ad sponsored by Wikipedia.
Fuck. I'm talking about it. Damn it. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for listening to this week's episode. That brings us to the end of the podcast. If you want to see more of us, you can find us on Instagram at very.unimportant.people. You can also email us at hatersclickhere@gmail.com, and that's HATRS@gmail.com. And you can also follow us on Twitter at VUnimportantPPL, and you can find us on TikTok. So good luck with that. You can also find our Patreon where we post extra content. All you have to do is go to our Instagram page, click on the link tree, and then click on the Patreon link, and it'll bring you to our lovely page. And for as little as, I think, $2 or $3, you can support us. And yeah,
please.
That'd be so awesome.
98% of people
scroll
past
past
this.
this. You are the exception to the rule, maybe.
We are starving. Put food on our tables.
We need bread to eat tomorrow morning, goddammit. So yeah, thanks for listening to our opinions on Avril and Wikipedia. And have a great